Hey guys, welcome to the Golden Age Gamer podcast. This is episode number 1. My name is Andrew Mills. I'm the host of the Golden Age Gamer podcast, and I just want to appreciate you guys from joining us. If you're watching this video, you're starting at ground zero with us. I'm kind of hoping to be able to start something really special with this podcast, something pretty exciting. A little bit about me. I have no experience whatsoever in the movie industry or video game industry. I am just solely a fan, and I think that's hopefully what's going to kind of separate me from some of the big podcasters out there in the world. I love listening to John Campea. I love listening to Kevin Smith. Obviously, he's kind of the king of the nerds for us. But with all the their great opinions and reviews, that's the world they live in. Is the movie industry and things like that. And so for me, I'm just a fan. I'm just a fan. I want to be able to kind of build a community here under the Golden Age Gamer umbrella, and really kind of give something special, and a special place for fans to be able to come and share and engage and hopefully, like I said, just kind of build something really cool here. So what you'll kind of see content-wise from me, movie reviews, video game reviews. You'll see a lot of content through my social media, so if you don't follow me on Instagram, please do at the Golden Age Gamer 33. And for some of the news when it comes to the world of movies, video games, things like that, I'll certainly be sharing that not only on social media but on the podcast as well. Plan to drop this podcast every Saturday, so make sure that if you haven't done so already, subscribe, like this video. And if you are a huge fan 2 minutes in, then I love you. So anyways, let's be honest. There's probably about 7 people watching this video, and 4 of them are my family, and 1's my wife. So that's okay, though. So this is video number 1. We will build the following as we go. So let's talk movie reviews. So for me, most recently, the movie that I've seen, and if you've already seen my Instagram, you know kind of what my initial thoughts were of the movie, was X-Men Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix was, it was a bad movie. I'm not going to lie. I wanted it to be a good movie. I wanted it to be a great send-off for the Fox X-Men universe, but to be honest, it just really wasn't. It was a bad movie. So not all of it was garbage. There was a lot of things to really like and take away from the movie. The biggest of all, the third act. A little bit of spoilers here if you haven't seen the movie, but the train scene that you see in the trailers, that's in the third act of the movie. And being able to see what the mutants can do with their powers, with the exception of Logan and Deadpool, those 2 movie franchises, we really haven't seen what the mutant powers can do just in a full-out, drag-down fight. And we got to see that. We got to see it with Magneto. We got to see it with Nightcrawler. And I thought it was just a lot of fun. I really did. If the rest of the movie was as good as that 15-minute sequence, the movie would have been excellent. But unfortunately, the rest of the movie was left with just kind of open and broken dialogue. It was left with scenes that just seemed to be drug out way too long. And to be honest, I spent most of the time just wondering when it was going to be over. And so, some of the dislikes that I had in the movie, again, the dialogue, the script was brutal. I thought Jennifer Lawrence just kind of phoned it in, and I really kind of thought she's done that for most of the franchise. But really, to be honest, this movie just kind of seemed the worst. Fortunately, spoiler, she dies about 20 minutes into the movie, so thankfully we didn't have to put up with her for too long. But her death did lead to probably the best scene of the movie for me, when Eric Magneto is on Genosha. Jean Grey comes to find him, and they have the conversation about what she's done, what she's kind of seeking from Eric, and the blood of Mystique on Jean Grey. Eric obviously being concerned. I kind of took it as wondering if it was Charles's blood. I didn't think he thought in a million years it would have been Mystique, but that sequence, that dialogue was really good. That scene was really good in the movie, but again, it was just surrounded by just a lot of boring dialogue, a lot of issues, just a lot of issues in that movie. So I will say this: should you see the movie? Yes. If you have watched the X-Men franchise for the last 20 years. if you have been there since day one in 2000 when X-Men came out, you should go see this movie. You should go see it just because it's the last. It's not the worst movie of the X-Men franchise. It's not as bad as X-Men 3: The Last Stand. It's not as bad as Wolverine Origins. But it also wasn't as good as Days of Future Past or Logan or even First Class. So you should see it just to kind of see that completion of the movie. And again, not all of it was bad. I thought some of the performances were pretty good. I thought Sophie Turner as Jean Grey, I thought she did a really good job. I didn't really like what they did with Professor X's character in this movie. I thought he was a little bit of a dick, if I'm being honest. But I thought that was a little bit out of character for him. But overall, should you see the movie? Yes, to be able to kind of see and complete that run of the Fox's Marvel X-Men universe. But ultimately, just it wasn't a good movie. But hopefully, now that it's under Disney's umbrella again, hopefully they'll be able to do a better job once they reboot the movie. So we'll probably have to wait a little bit of time to kind of see what we get there. But so that was really kind of my movie review. Some movies I'll go more in depth in. This one wasn't going to waste a lot of time because, again, it just wasn't a great movie. But this week, obviously, was E3. E3 is huge on my bucket list to be able to go to one day. Fingers crossed, maybe I'll be there next year and be doing some live remotes. But with E3, there was just so much news, so much content to come out of it. I could spend hours here telling you about all the news and my thoughts and stuff of what came out. But I think for me, really, I'm just going to hit on some of the key points, some of the stuff that really kind of struck me as a fan. First and foremost, although it probably wasn't necessarily attached to E3, it came out this last week, Uncharted. December 2020 release date, and that's super exciting for me. Uncharted is my favorite franchise, video game franchise. It's my favorite video game of all time. I love Nathan Drake, love the storyline. Really kind of love seeing the arc that his character played through all the games. And ultimately, when the PS4 and Xbox One came out, I went PS4 because of the Uncharted games. So I'm a huge fan, love the franchise. And when we got that Nathan Fillion short, if you remember seeing that on YouTube, when that dropped about a year ago, I got really excited about what the potential could be for the Uncharted franchise. But when Tom Holland got casted, clearly they're going with a young Nathan Drake and not really a more weathered, more seasoned individual. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how they portray the character, what storyline they tell. Tom Holland, if you don't know who it is, it's Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And yeah, he's a good actor. He really is. He's a good actor. I love his portrayal of Spider-Man. I mean, he's a grown man. He's 22, 23 years old. So it's not like we're getting a kid to come in and play Nathan Drake. But I do think I speak for the majority of the fan base when I say they're really going to have to do some work to get him to that character's level of what at least the fans are hoping for. But my fingers crossed are for a good movie. I really think that it sets up well out of really any video game franchise. It's probably the most like a movie when you play the game. So we'll see what they do with it. We'll see how it turns out. But we won't have to wait long. It's only about 18 months till the movie drops. So really excited to see that release date. Final Fantasy VII. I've been waiting for a release date for the remake for a long time. Final Fantasy VII is my favorite of the Final Fantasy franchise. In fact, opposite of me on the wall over here, you'll actually see a Buster Sword, a life-size Buster Sword that I got at Comic-Con a couple years ago. Love the franchise. Love Cloud. He's one of my favorite characters. So really excited to when the remake was announced. We got a release date March of 2020. But the biggest thing for me that kind of came out of E3 for Final Fantasy VII, if you haven't seen already, Square Enix is already doing pre-orders for the game. They have a first-class collector's edition, which I am a sucker for collectibles. In fact, I actually have another Instagram page called Collector on a Budget because I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. But this first-class collector's edition, along with a lot of artwork and stuff like that, comes with a statue of Cloud on the motorcycle. Phenomenal, looks great, but it's $330. So a pretty steep price point. But congratulations, Square Enix, you got my money. So definitely gonna have to get that once it comes in, once the game drops, and that gets shipped to me. Even though it's a while down the road, I plan to do an unboxing, any of those collectibles. So, but $330 is a high price point. If any friends or family are watching this podcast, feel free to contribute. We'll start a GoFundMe account. Um, Gameplay trailer for Star Wars Fallen Order has come out. Jedi Fallen Order. We saw that at E3. It looked really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Think that the game itself is going to be fun. I wasn't a huge fan of Battlefront 1 and 2. And to be honest, EA Sports was kind of hit and miss with their games overall. I'm not a big fan anymore of their sports games. Really, I mean, if you played Madden in 2002, then you've played Madden in 2019. So, wasn't a big fan of what they've done sports-wise. But this game looks really good. It looks really good. It looks, what you'll be able to kind of do with the use of the Force and lightsabers and stuff like that. Just a lot of fun. And if you're anything like me, sometimes you just need that kind of mindless fun. You throw in Grand Theft Auto 5, you just drive around and, run people over and stuff like that. Sometimes you just need to be able to force throw someone against the wall. This looks like the kind of game that you're going to be able to do that with, so I'm super excited about that. Cyberpunk 2077, we saw that trailer came out. Xbox had that big presentation at E3, and when the entire world erupted, when they saw Keanu Reeves, I was a little bit bummed. Thought the trailer was really cool. Thought it looked really, really good. Something that I'm really going to be into. I'm not a fan of Keanu Reeves. So when he appeared in the trailer, okay, fine. Whatever, that's fine. Still going to play the game. Still looks like a great game. But hopefully, for me anyways, Keanu Reeves doesn't ruin it. But I don't know. Maybe you're a fan of Keanu Reeves. Maybe he does it for you. But for me, it just was a little bit of, just kind of fell flat. But overall, the trailer looked really good. Looks very interesting. I don't know a whole lot about the game other than what I've seen in the trailer, but it looks really good. So the last couple of points that I have, some of them I really, really are very interested in and very excited about. Marvel Alliance, Ultimate Alliance 3, that looks phenomenal. I'm a huge fan of the Nintendo Switch, and the fact that it's a Nintendo Switch exclusive, kind of excites me a little bit. In fact, it'll kind of force me to have to play my Switch a little bit more. But the game looks really fun. Anytime you can get all the Marvel characters together under one umbrella and have some fun with the characters, I think it's definitely not a bad thing. But we saw the reveal of some Infinity Stones. We saw the Infinity Sentinel, I think that is what they were referring to it as. But the creator said this is their original storyline, something that's never been done in the comics before. So I'm really looking forward to kind of seeing what they have to do with that. Again, Nintendo Switch exclusive, which is kind of fun. And really, I'm a huge advocate of the Nintendo Switch. If you don't have one, it's clearly, obviously, the most powerful handheld console on the market. But I swear, it's like holding a PlayStation in the palm of your hands. It really is. For that, if you were kind of on the fence with the Nintendo Switch, hopefully this will kind of point you in the right direction, and you'll be able to have as much fun with it as I do. So, Stranger Things announced that they're going to have a mobile game. Obviously, Stranger Things Season 3 drops at the beginning of next month, and we will have a review for it for you on the Golden Age Gamer podcast once I am able to go through and binge the season. But mobile games is something I'm really into. We spend so much time on our phones, and for me, Candy Crush just doesn't do it. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I do mobile game reviews. I am the guy that's willing to make the sacrifice for you guys to be able to tell you if a freemium game is worth it. Freemium referring to a game that's free, but you really got to kind of pay in order to get anywhere on it. I'll let you know if you check out the reviews. If there's a game that you are wanting to see, leave a comment on one of the game reviews, and I'll definitely check it out. But Stranger Things, love the show. Can't wait till Season 3 comes out. But a Stranger Things mobile game, yeah, sign me up for that. I'm definitely excited for that. This next one's probably going to get you guys to make fun of me a little bit, but I am a huge fan of Frozen. And so when Frozen 2 got announced and we saw the teaser trailer, I thought it looked pretty good. I was pretty excited for it. But this trailer that dropped this week, with E3, it looks really, really good. I mean, it looks like they're going to expand on the universe a little bit. Kind of made me even tell a little bit of a mature storyline from the first one. For all the nerdy stuff you see behind me, opposite of me on the other side of the apartment is all my wife's stuff, which is a lot of Disney, a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So I know she's excited for the Frozen movie to come out. But what I'm really the most interested in, and we haven't been able to see much of it, is if the music's going to live up to what the first one did. I actually thought, as far as Disney soundtracks, maybe an unpopular opinion here, but the Frozen soundtrack is in my top three of Disney soundtracks of all time. So I'd be interested to see if Frozen 2 kind of lives up to that and gives us some great music. So, Men in Black International, they dropped their Rotten Tomatoes score. When I saw it, there was about 25 reviews in, and it was floating in the mid 30s, which was really, it was kind of shocking to me. I actually, I think the trailers looked really good. I thought the movie was going to be fun, and I thought, I love Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson. I was really looking forward to seeing their chemistry because they worked so well together in Thor Ragnarok. But when I saw the Rotten Tomato score, I was a little bit surprised. So I think this is one of the movies, really like any movie, you should go out and be a judge for yourself. And so don't listen to Rotten Tomato scores. Don't listen to me. Go out, check out the movie yourself. And then once I see it, which hopefully will be either this week or next week, I'll give a review on it on the podcast, letting you kind of what my initial thoughts are. So, and really the last thing from E3 that kind of jumped out at me that I was pretty excited about was the Marvel's Avengers game. Now, I know there's a lot of backlash online for the way the characters looked and the way the game looked, and I gotta tell you, I didn't understand it. I really didn't. I thought the game looked really good. I thought the storyline, we really didn't get much of what the storyline is going to be, but I thought it looked really good, and I think really the biggest issue here is going to be with Marvel learning how to overcome the fact that people are going to want Robert Downey Jr. as their Tony Stark or Chris Evans as their Captain America. And so when they put out something like this and in a different medium like a video game genre, they're going to have an uphill battle they got to climb to be able to appease the fans. And if you're a fan, I've got to tell you, we've been spoiled. I'm not going to lie to you. One of the reasons why I think Dark Phoenix has gotten some bad reviews, one of the reasons why it really wasn't even one of my favorite movies, was because it came on the heels of Endgame. Had we had just seen that movie a year earlier, right after Ant-Man and the Wasp, I don't think we would have had as much of a harsh reaction to it. But because it came after Endgame, it was this epic storyline and this big build-up and all these characters. And then we got Dark Phoenix, which had about 3 of the X-Men in the movie the whole time and was just kind of hit and miss dialogue-wise, things like that. I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe has spoiled us. So when it comes to video games, clearly it's not going to be the same band of characters. It's not going to be those guys. I don't think they can afford it to be those guys. So, for this storyline, if you've seen the trailer and you didn't like it, go back in with open eyes. Forget that you've ever seen any Marvel Cinematic Universe and go in and see the story that Marvel's trying to tell you. With the characters that they're giving us in this trailer. And I think ultimately, when the game comes out, all the people who are griping and complaining about the way it looks or the characters, things like that, they're going to be in line to buy the game. They're going to pre-order it. They're going to go out in the GameStop or download it digitally or whatever. So, all the hate, all the backlash for it, I think it's silly. I think it's kind of nonsense. It's okay not to like something, but if you're not liking something just for the sake of not liking something, that's just, come on. Let's we're all fans here. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what Marvel has to give us. And I think the trailer looked really good. I think the game looks really good. So, other content that you're going to kind of get from my channel, aside from movie reviews, will be video game reviews. Your first video game review that you're going to get, kind of full-length video game review, is going to be on Days Gone. I wanted to have it out sooner than later. It's probably going to be about another 3 or 4 weeks before I get it out, and that's early review is honestly because I'm struggling to get through the game. It's for me, it's just a rough game. I don't want to go too much in and save it for the review, but the last few days I've been kind of forcing myself to play it. So hopefully the game picks up. Hopefully it gets better. But right now it's just not necessarily what I was hoping for. But be on the lookout. Check out that full review. I'm hoping to have a guest on with me to kind of talk about the game and their shared experience with it. So with all that being said, guys, that's it. 20-minute mark. If you're still hanging in there with me, man, I certainly appreciate it. We knew this show was going to be rough. This first episode was going to be rough. They never tell you when you want to start a podcast how awkward this is, staring into the camera, talking to an empty room when no one's around. So give me a little bit of time to get comfortable with the podcast setup. Be on the lookout. I want to have guests on. I want to have people on it, in the fan community to be able to kind of talk about some of these things, movie reviews, game reviews, that kind of stuff. But it all starts with checking out the Instagram page, Golden Age Gamer 33. I want to tell you how to live your life, but hit subscribe, like this video, share it, let everyone know. We don't build a community without you, so make sure to help me with that. This podcast will drop every Saturday. Next week, me and my wife are going on our first Disney World vacation. So you will get a lot of live videos on Instagram, and you'll get a lot of content from Disney World and kind of that travel and everything for me. So be on the lookout for that. But again, thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate your time, and until next time, take care.